Choice, Gene. No?
Well, yeah, we're talking for anyone watching. We're talking about the Kevin Spacey thing. I brought up the Kevin Spacey movie, and then we started talking about the whole bullshit with Kevin Spacey.
Or you start
Uh, and then we were kind of just talking about in general people who do weird shit with kids, like in Hollywood, it's kind of a thing, right? Like fucking what's his name did it too, right? Who the fuck did they just bust for that shit too? Well, a couple people, but
I just read something. Ansel, I don't know how to pronounce his name. The dude that was in Baby Driver, and Our Fault in the Stars. That dude just has an allegation coming out right now, like where when he was 20 years old, he I guess maybe just one, I don't know, but like there's a 17-year-old that he kind of uh, coerced into like having sex, and basically was just trying to get a like I was reading some of the details. I tried to get a threesome to happen, and like with like one of her dance friends, and like I mean it's a choice, but also she's underage. She's like that's statutory rape. Like you
yeah,
talk about like the logistics of like some like an adult person like making that choice versus like someone underage. Like
right.
it's still wrong on his part, and like like her part too. I like I remember being a kid wanting to have sex with people, but like it's wrong. It's wrong for an underage person to like. I
Yeah,
mean, would probably have sex at all. Like that's
I
probably
totally,
off the table.
I totally agree, Gene. I kind of have a situation. I don't know if I told you, Frank, about my friend who's being accused of rape.
Yeah, you did.
I have a good friend, Gene, of many years that he's seriously being accused of rape. And he's being accused of rape by an 18, 19-year-old kid. And he's saying that he raped them when he was 15. My friend, he's about 32, 33. So there is an age difference. Um, what happened apparently was they went to a party. They both went to a party. They belonged to the San Antonio Theater Company, okay? And they went to a party, and fucking this guy, they both got drunk. They both got drunk, right? And like one thing went led to another, and they ended up having sex, dude. The kid, a couple of days later, he went to the police because he said that he was raped. You know, they did the investigation and everything. They did not find any because he said one of his allegations was that he forcibly raped him. He forcibly held him down and like raped him. And they did not find any evidence of rape. Dude, they did not find any bruises. They did not find any damage in his genitalia or anything. There is no evidence of a forcible rape. I understand that he's 18. Technically, he's not underage anymore. You know, what happens when you start partying with people who are older than you? You know, or they don't even have to be fucking older than you. They can be your same age. But what happens when you go to a party when you're high school age, college age? You know, it's not like you guys are gonna fucking sit down and like play Twister and like shit like that. You know
I
what
mean,
happens.
depends on the party you go to, but yeah, they might want to play with Twister and get drunk. No,
No,
I'm just kidding.
fuck
Nah, I get what you're saying though.
you know what happens when you drink. When you're 18, you know what happens when you drink. You know you're not supposed to fucking take like cigarettes or like shit from people because you don't know what's in it. You know, I've had horror stories about that too. But you learn, dude. You learn. You're putting yourself out there, dude. Around that time is when I don't know, dude. Like I lost my virginity when I was around 15, 16. So I don't know, dude. Like I feel like that's a stage of life when you start like experiencing things, obviously, and getting out into the world. Shit is gonna happen to you, and I don't know, dude. I just feel like you cannot fucking blame it on ignorance. You cannot say like, oh, I went to a party and I drank and like I didn't know. Blah 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 blah.
I think that's definitely like a good thing to keep in mind, like for the individual. But I don't think that excuses like people, you know,
Oh
doing
yeah.
shit that taking advantage of people that they shouldn't be doing shit like that. It doesn't make it okay because it's like, well, they were drunk, so like I just took advantage and like, hey, that person should have known. Like, nah, that's what's wrong is wrong, and what's if you're
Yeah.
forcing somebody to do shit and that person is like either intoxicated or under the age, you're kind of asking for trouble because
Yeah.
like for the underage thing, it's like okay, there's people who are like 17, right? Like there are stories of like girls, a lot of girls or even guys under like 17, right, hooking up with somebody who's like 22, 23. Okay, so it's like that's kind of like okay, it's weird because those numbers are a lot closer than say someone that's like 17 and like 30 something or something like that. It's like your mindset at 17 and your mindset at 30 something is fucking night and day, you know?
Mhm.
The 17-year-old is more than likely not going to know what's good for themselves versus the person who's 32. I mean, that goes from person to person because there's people who never grow the fuck up. But I mean, like, generally speaking, by 32, you should be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't go hook up with this 17-year-old or like 18, even 18. I don't know. That's up to you. If that's your thing and you like that, then that's you. But there's room for you got to be ready. You got to know that there's room for like bullshit coming your way because
Mhm.
you don't know where that person is mentally. And putting yourself in that situation, I think, is a bad idea as somebody who's
Oh yeah.
older
Yep.
in general.
Especially
I
with
think that's
alcohol
the problem.
involved.
That's the problem when you have these kind of encounters with when people that you don't that you're not really close with. You know, like how can I explain it to you? Um, it's like if something like this happened to any of you guys, do you really think I wouldn't vouch for you? Like I know you guys. I don't know you as long as I know my friend. I've known my friend for 10 years. I know him. I cannot tell you that he's not capable of doing it. Everyone is capable of doing it, obviously. Even by mistake, dude. Even by mistake. The thing here is that um, they were both fucked up drunk. He it's kind of like what it's I don't know, dude. Like, don't you guys feel like that happens a lot? Like, you go to a party. I don't know if it's happened to
It
you guys. You go
it
to a
does
party,
happen a lot.
up to you, you have sex with a girl. The next day, she's like, "Oh, he raped me." You
That I
know?
mean, I've
And
heard
it's
of stuff like that happening. It's horrible. But
Yeah. Maybe this
I,
is not the way the kid wanted to lose his virginity.
yeah.
But it
I
was just
generally think
it was
that
just a series of bad choices, dude. And then at 18, I feel like you have to be also accountable for your mistakes. I feel like that's the age when you start like being accountable for the shit that you do.
I think everything's messy with alcohol. I my general like opinion is like you don't fuck with people like if you're drunk or someone else is drunk
Mhm.
you just don't fuck like that's straight up like that's a dangerous thing. Like I don't know if you guys have been in a situation where it's like a drunk person starts hitting on you. It's like you're drunk. Sorry, that's definitely not happening. Like it's just a
yeah,
messy situation. Like
But
that releases the inhibitions, but it doesn't mean like necessarily that they really want it. Like when they become sober, like they could fucking regret it and like and in these worst times, like something could happen to them or if you're on the other end of that, like someone could force you drunk, like while they're drunk, they could force you to do something. It's
yeah,
just alcohol, and unless you're like married to someone or in a really good relationship where it's like you guys are like
yeah,
the fuck right now, like
yeah.
that's
that,
or
and
anything.
you're both feeling good about it, like
Each
then
other
I
promise.
generally just I think it's just a bad idea to drink and fuck. Like I
Dude,
just
it's so crazy, bro. Like, you want to hear a crazy story? So, like, I feel like, I don't know, man. I'm not like super religious or spiritual or anything like that, but I trip out on like things that feel like coincidences because sometimes I feel like there's stuff that like happens that I'm like, holy shit, I'm so glad that it happened because like that could have gone probably a completely different way. But like, there was a time where like I was at a party. It was a New Year's party in LA. It's like this huge fucking party my buddy invited me to, and I met this chick, and she was like, I don't know, she was pretty cute. I was pretty attracted to her, but I was just single at the time. We're all going out. We are just like a bunch of friends, and then we both got fucking blitz drunk, dude, like super blitz drunk, and out of nowhere we're like making out and shit, and then before you know it, I'm like, oh, let's get out of here. And we had a hotel room already. My buddy had gone because it was his birthday. On New Year's, his birthday's on New Year's, so we like had a hotel room and shit. When we go there, I go to the room with her. It's just her and I, and we're like about to hook up, bro. Like right about to hook up, and I'm like pretty fucking blitz drunk. She's pretty blitz drunk too. And then I had a condom, right? Like I had brought a condom with me to the party, and for whatever reason, like I went to the bar and they were giving free drinks away, and I was like, well, I'm gonna give this bartender a tip, but I didn't have any cash, and so since I wasn't using my card, I couldn't even leave her a tip on a card. So I was like, well, I feel guilty. I want to give her something. So like as a joke, I recently gave her the condom as a tip, but it was funny because the condom was like a gag joke condom. It had a picture of like a, it was like some funny picture that was kind of funny. She laughed. So I was like, cool, like that's what I wanted, you know. So I gave it to her, and that was it. So when we got to the hotel room, I didn't have a condom. I was like, oh fuck, dude. And I like thought about it. I was like looking for it, and we ended up not hooking up. And I don't know. I thought about it the next day, and I was just like, dude, it's probably better that we didn't because like I don't know that girl at all. And I mean, what if she's like super fucking drama and turned around and like said some shit like, "Oh, he fucking raped me" or something like that? Because I don't
What if
know.
what
I
if
don't think she was drunk to the point where she didn't know what she was doing. But how do I know? You know what I mean? Because if I would have saw her
that's
like
the thing.
slouching and shit like all nasty, I wouldn't have even took it that far. But she was
Hmm.
probably just as drunk as I was. We're both able
No,
to get. I remember everything that happened. Like you know what I mean? But
yeah.
I think it was
It
probably
needs to
better
be.
that it happened like that because, who knows what the
Oh
fuck would
yeah,
happen.
like it needs to be mutual. Like it has to be mutual. And well, the thing is, yes, it's probably better than it didn't happen because of legal reasons, obviously. But other thing is like you don't know this girl, G. You don't know if she has STDs, and you don't have a condom. You could have
I
had sex.
know.
You could have had sex with her and like pull out, and it would have been fine, I guess. But
Yeah,
you don't
no,
know
we
this,
both weren't down. Yeah.
you know. So I feel like the more you grow, G, and it goes back to like fucking the age difference, I feel like the older you get, the more you fucking stop and think before things. Stop thinking with your dick. I mean, you kind of like think less with your dick and more with your brain, you know? Because there was an
Yeah.
age, dude, where I just literally just wanted to fuck everything,
Yeah.
everything that moved, you know? And obviously, just as you grow older, G, like you start maturing, and it's all about that. It's about maturing.
Yeah.
Being responsible, dude, in every aspect of your
Making
life. Obviously, the
making
things that,
better life decisions.
dude, is
Yeah.
this was the name?
Pardon?
What's
Yeah. Yeah. That's totally Zora's domain.
what is it?
Doors
Zora's
of,
domain from fucking Zelda from
Oh, your
Breath of the
background.
Wild. Zelda. Yeah.
That looks
dude.
sick, dude. It
Apparently,
looks
there
like was
was
that
like
underwater?
Dude, it was like it was like a weird like walls around. It might as well have been underwater because it felt that way, but it was
It
just
looks
like
like it is.
raining
you
constantly.
know how you can't swim underwater in Breath of the Wild. You
What?
can't you can't go underwater.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a way that you can go underwater.
Really?
Breath of the Wild. Apparently, I'm not even sure. I haven't played that
Just
game.
drop a fucking metal ball on your head. It just shoves you down. I know you can glitch. You definitely get some weird glitches going.
Really?
Like I've glitched into like a rock, and I've been stuck. Like I can't get out. I did something with like a horse where like you slid down and I fell off the horse. The horse is on the other side, but I'm inside of a boulder, and it's just like I might as well have been like, let me out of here.
But was that? It was an accident, right? Like you didn't
Yeah,
have
it
to
was
really
it was
go.
a complete accident.
That
And I
game
was
has never glitched on me. I should try it.
yeah, it's I don't even know how it happened or why it happened, but I was happy that I like having like yeah I found a glitch. This is awesome, but now I'm
A
stuck.
glitch in the matrix.
All right, let me ask you guys something.
What's up?
Can you tell us the story of your first really bad panic attack?
I thought didn't we do this on the one of the episodes already? I feel like we did. I'm down to do it again though.
We did talk about this, I think, but
I'm
But
trying to remember what I said.
we talked about just in general.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Talked about first fucking panic attack.
I'll try to think honestly.
I really don't even remember.
I think I remember what it was.
What was it?
I know when they happen. Like if it's like I'm overwhelmed and I'm like just taking on too much work and my timeline is too short, like that's where I feel like a panic attack. But
How can you describe, like, if you were describing your panic attack as a like to a doctor that's asking you about your symptoms, if you can describe
Yeah.
your panic attack as symptoms, how would you describe it?
I would describe it as like as if in my mind I'm like going running down a hallway and I reach a point where I can see up ahead. I have to there's five different choices and I have to make one of them. And I'm just like I don't have any idea of which one's the better one, but I have to make a choice now and I'm panicking. I'm like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like but I'm coming closer and I have to do something and it's not getting easier. It's not getting easier to make a choice. It's getting harder.
Do you kind of lose your breath? Like, is it difficult to breathe?
Dude, just describing that right now, I was losing my breath. I was like, fuck, like that feeling of just like, I don't know what to do. And I have people in my life I can call, which
Mhm.
always kind of ground me in that, like ground me from it. I'll just call like I'll be honest, I'm not doing good right now. Like right now I feel like I'm panicking. Like I don't know what to do. I'm stressed. Like, and then uh, sometimes this person will remind me that like like one thing at a time, it's completely fine, like you're gonna be okay, like just focus on one thing at a time. What's coming up first, and then it's like that's
Dude,
that's reassuring for me.
that's
But
powerful.
Mhm.
that helps.
Powerful.
What about you, Frank?
I'm pretty sure the first time. Well, hold on. Is there a difference between panic attack and anxiety attack?
I just
The
thought it
same
was.
thing. I'm pretty
I,
sure it was a panic attack. What were you gonna say, Billy? Do
no,
you know if that?
I was just saying what Michael said, but go on.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that you knew there was a
Well, to me,
difference.
like panic attacks seem like I think they mean the same, dude. But for some reason, I feel like panic attack is more serious. It's like literally like you're like it's like what happened to the people inside the Twin Towers. They just had panic attacks and they jumped out of the windows straight up. I feel
Okay,
like that's a
Yeah.
panic attack.
that's
That fucking it makes you like go
I
crazy.
think that might have been literally the heat from the building. Like your body is gonna automatically get away from the fire, and that's the only place to go.
I feel like that's a panic attack.
fucking
You
crazy.
panic. You panic and fucking like you lose your fucking brain and you fucking do stupid stuff.
I've
Or
heard I've heard suicide described as that same situation, like where it's like jumping out of a burning building. Like, do you want to stay and burn, or do you just want to jump out and end it all?
well,
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
when I'm gonna let you tell your story really, Frank. I'm not gonna take
Oh, that's
long,
cool.
but when I had my panic, I feel like what I had in the plane was a panic attack, dude. Because at one point, literally, the only thing I could think of and the only thing I wanted to do is just get up and run.
Oh
Where?
yeah,
I don't fucking know, dude. I'm in a plane. I just wanted
right.
to get out and run. That was my thinking. That was my instinct, and I feel like that was a panic.
Ah man, that's scary, dude.
I
That's
couldn't.
Yeah,
ugly, dude.
especially on a plane, dude.
Yeah,
You're fucking stuck.
and it's like I started shaking, dude, and like at some point, like I just accepted my fucking death. I was like, I'm gonna fucking die, dude, and that calmed me down. It calms you down, dude. Like just
Acceptance,
straight up accepting that you're gonna
Yeah,
die.
dude.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
Dude, there's nothing I can do. There's no way I can run, dude. You have to accept it, and that
that's
kind of like, okay, let's do this.
Let's do this. Let's die,
that's
Woo!
man. Yeah,
that's like the stoic. That's like the number one stoic.
Okay.
Not the number one, but like that's a stoic belief is like accept. That's one of the things. Actually, here I'll read you something that I just
yeah.
found.
I
I like
I,
this a
I thought
lot.
that I thought that way when I went to Six Flags. I was just like, I was like, at least we'll die. Like like if this roller coaster falls off the tracks, at least we're dead. Like
Right.
it's not like we're gonna be fucking broken leg. We're done. Like
We're just done.
yeah,
So
we're gonna swing up into the air and we're gonna crash to the ground. There's not any of us are gonna be alive.
all right,
But
8. What happened to Michael? Is he gone again?
he's off running an errand. Looks like he said he's
Uh,
gonna be right back.
oh, for sure. 8
Uh,
ways to find peace is daily stoic. Number 2 is accept your own mortality, and I think that's kind of what he did there. And you accept your mortality, like, hey, this is it. I'm gonna die. Like that's it. But
yep.
I mean, I think this is said more like in a preemptive, like don't wait till that moment. Like do that now. Kind of kill yourself now. Not like physically, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
you're
Just
you're
accept.
raw. No one's getting out alive, and accept that morality. Um, I'll read the other ones. Number 1, don't suffer. Imagine troubles. That's good. Sometimes we
Yeah,
can imagine things to be a lot worse than they are.
Yeah, for sure.
Remember whose opinion matters. Your own, only your own, and maybe a couple people that you really care about, but
Shit.
only to a certain extent, though, too. You know.
Yeah, sometimes I rely more on other people, like, cause, like, I'll be sensitive to some shit sometimes, and like hearing someone else be like, no, you're fine, like you're good. Like I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like yeah, that,
I
I,
got you.
yeah, but I do hear the
Uh,
other.
what I was gonna say the there's a word I was thinking of for that, but no, I get totally get what you're saying. Schedule stillness in your life. I need to get better at that. I try to do. Do you meditate?
Yeah, I do.
Do
I
you?
do.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Not a lot lately, but
Like,
like if I go for a bike ride and I'll go somewhere really nice, I'll be like, this is a good place and time to meditate, or like I try to take opportunities to do it as much as I can. But I do.
yeah, I try to take. I try to about do the same. I'm not every day, but I've been trying to implement at least 10 minutes a day to
Nice.
literally just silence. And what I'll do is I usually go for like 20 minutes. So 10 minutes of it, I'll have like music playing, and it's just like kind of meditation music, and then that's like to quiet my mind down and just like get into that mode. And then for 10 minutes I'll just turn all the sounds off and just focus on my breathing, and then
Nice.
like kind of just watch my thoughts for a little bit, you know.
Yeah. Have you
But
ever heard of Headspace at all? I don't
I
know if you.
have, yeah, it's like an app, right?
Yeah, I like doing that. Like, I'll do something kind of similar where I'll follow the guided meditation, and then like they say, like open your eyes at your own pace, and I'll just sit there and I'll just continue kind of like having my own silence. And because I feel like being a musician, and especially right now, like where I'm constantly looking at a screen or I'm looking at my phone, and since I'm back on Instagram, I'm looking at my phone more than ever. Like, and I'm
Yeah,
trying to stay like up to date on everything. Like just taking a quiet time is such a different different thing that I'm doing versus like, all right, gotta research this, gotta
yeah,
work, like, do shit. Like just nothing at all is just such a blessing. Like
yeah.
just
Do you f-
resting time.
do you find it difficult to do that, like at
Yo, Michael,
sometimes?
you're muted, bro. Uh, you got. I think you got to unmute him.
Really?
I think so.
Oh,
Don't unmute him, dude. He's
sorry
got
about
enough.
that. How do I do that? Oh, ask to unmute.
Yeah,
What
Jade,
am
it
I
says
doing?
that I
Oh,
can't
there it goes.
unmute myself for some reason.
Really?
That's
Oh, because it's a new meeting. I didn't change the setting this time. Okay.
No, I was just saying, G, like I feel like you know, I feel like we've all felt um at least I'm speaking for myself. I feel like there were definitely more days that I felt less productive than other days. Um I feel like I mostly use this time to fucking practice my tap dancing, practice my singing,
nice.
and just doing research, dude. I'm trying to. I've been thinking for like a while, dude. Like since I graduated college, that maybe I should go back and like do masters. You know, but my problem was that I don't exactly know in what area. So like during this quarantine, dude, like I've been researching a lot of things, and I've been like diving into a lot of topics and like a lot of different um I want to say like schools of thought, and I think I'm forming myself a better idea of what I would like to um, study for my master's. But I feel like without this time, without all of this free time, it would have taken me like fucking forever to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, there's been days straight up since the moment I wake up until the moment I fucking go to bed, G, that I do nothing but like research and study and like fucking I don't know, G. Like I wouldn't say that it was a complete waste of time, you know? Like I fucking the cops are coming for me. Um fucking like I've been practicing tap and singing a lot, G, just because I want to start breaking into the theater community here in Los
Nice.
Angeles. But I mean, I stop and think, G, like, fuck, G, like, is it even worth it right now? Like, when the fuck am I gonna be able to like audition and be in a show again? When are they gonna open the show, the theaters, dude, and like allow hundreds and hundreds of people to come see the shows and stuff like that? So I feel like in a way I'm practicing, but in a way I feel like it's for nothing for a while, you know?
Yeah, you know, one thing that was interesting. Speaking on theater, I just saw like a Zoom theater or a Zoom play, like my acting teacher hosted, and I was like, this is weird. Like,
For
like
an actor, G, for an actor that defeats, but I feel like that defeats the purpose.
it was a little strange. It was like also they didn't use backgrounds, so I was just like,
It's
I
a
was a
table
little
reading,
taken out
G.
of
It's
it.
like, that's called reader's theater, when you just straight up just sit down and read the script in character.
Yeah.
You're not really
Oh,
acting.
yeah.
You might be interacting, but you're not acting.
Yeah, it's strange. And I'm doing improv on Zoom too. Like I started my improv class, and oh, by the way, if y'all are interested, I'm doing my like the performance next Thursday, uh, or this upcoming Thursday at like
Oh shit.
3:30.
Where
I
at?
you guys info if you're down. I'll just send you a Zoom link, dude.
Oh, that's
Just
cool.
Dude, I'm
literally just
down.
watch it. I don't know how good it's gonna be because like we've
So
had
what are,
like
so are all the situations like about like Zoom meetings and coronavirus and shit like that?
dude, we do everything. Like I'm actually pretty impressed by how it's done because I'm also teaching like a Zoom class at my work, or I'm sorry, an improv class, and I joined it because I wanted to not only get better but also know how to do Zoom improv, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've learned a lot already, but
Oh,
uh,
yes.
I know what you mean, man. It's weird. I feel like feeling like why should I practice or like fitness, even like I work out but then I'm like not working on my dieting. It's like what's the point, nobody sees me. But then I went out last night with a friend and she saw me and I'm like damn it, like I'm fat as fuck right now. And like
I feel like
I'm
I'm
that
fat as fuck right now.
I'm
as,
still trying to get some action shit,
as
but
the
like
country
Yeah,
opens,
dude, got it.
the country opens and we start like fucking like getting together and hanging out, G. I feel like we're all gonna fucking have to like readjust because being social again
yeah, man.
and
Yeah.
going out and like fucking like because dude like
Going out fucking.
for the past 2 months, and I kid you not, G, like I've been wearing nothing but PJs. I think
Nice.
I've done laundry like probably no more than 5 times.
Shit,
Wow,
man.
that's
And
awesome.
like I still have like a lot of clean clothes. And not that I have a lot of clothes, but I still have a lot
You-
of like clean clothes, you know?
Yeah.
I was kind of doing the same thing, but you know what? I decided I was like, man, this is gonna make me go crazy because I just felt like to say I was like, dude, I'm in my PJs all fucking day, pretty much every day. So I stopped doing that. I would wake up and I would like chill for a little bit, but then I would, well, like after I was done getting up and like, washing
Mhm.
up or whatever. After a while, I would go put on like I would do my stretches and all that, and then I would go put on pants and like a shirt, like as if I was gonna go somewhere. But I
Mhm.
was like, just go sit down on my computer, start working, or start doing something around the house. But like as if I was at work, just to like have the same sort of like feel of okay, I got ready and I'm going somewhere, even though I couldn't go anywhere because we were in quarantine. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I think
A
that's
little
a
bit
good
normal.
strategy, G, because like if you are dressed like you're ready to go somewhere, even if you're not, that means that you can
Yeah,
any moment you can just fucking walk out of your door, you know? You don't have to
yeah.
I
I
don't
I did do that a lot. I would just get ready and go for walks, and it would feel good just to do that.
Nice.
That's important. Yeah.
You gotta start doing shit that feels normal and shit too. And it's like you can go outside. You just like you gotta be smart about it. Like they
absolutely.
still don't know shit about the coronavirus. Like they don't know, like if people who get it, they don't know if they can get it again. There's like there's no science behind it yet. Like if there's immunities built for it, but I think it like you said, it's important to do those things. Like I got a job like where where I will wear like my pajamas for the beginning. I'm like, all right, I'm about to see a lot more people, so I'm gonna like dress up a little bit. Like I want to look cool. I see my brother do it. My brother will get dressed up just to go to In and Out. Like the motherfucker will put on like a denim jacket, sunglasses, do his hair. He's only gone for like 30 minutes. Comes right back and it's like, dude, you extra as fuck. I love
You
it.
never know though. I mean, like especially if you're single, dude. Like for me, that's one thing right now. Like when you're in a relationship, I was like, you get kind of complacent sometimes, or maybe not complacent, but you get like you can get comfortable. So you're like, okay, I'm not gonna dress up every fucking day, right? But like when you're single, you kind of you can forget sometimes too. You're like, you know what? I want to look somewhat presentable because you never know. You might like run into like a really cool ass chick, or who knows? Like you want to ask that girl on a date and you look like a bum. You're like, Oops. Fuck it.
Yep.
I've had that happen a couple of times where like some couple cute chicks where I'm like, should ask that chick for a number, and then I was like, I'm in like my fucking gym shorts and like slippers right now, and I look like
Same, bro.
I
Same.
like I haven't shaved in like 5 days and just look like a fucking bum. I'm like,
That's where I'm at, bro. I was gonna do all my shit, shave, get a haircut, and all that shit today.
I don't know, dude. Jared was able to get Amanda.
to cut his hair. Oh,
Jared, just kidding.
Dude,
Kidding. Kidding.
it's because he's got the curls, bro. It's the curly hair, man. It's
when she
you
first
know,
met him, he had the Jerry curls, and now he doesn't
she
even.
loves the curls. You think she plays with his curls?
I want to see Jared with Jerry curls, dude.
That would
Dude,
be
have
sweet.
you ever seen him when he straightens his hair?
No,
No, I'd imagine it would be really long though.
It's
I'm
fucking
trying to
crazy.
imagine it right
He
now.
looks like he looks like an emo guy.
That's
Accountant.
fucking rad.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
So
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
Well,
Go for
I
it.
was gonna say, yeah, I think taking care of your mental health is important. I feel like right now, like I'm getting really into like Black Lives Matter and like doing all this research, and I just finished When They See Us on Netflix, and like that shit like had my heart like wrenched, and I had dreams about that shit, just like how the system fucked over these black kids, and and it was true, and like their lives after prison like is just fucking insane, like and my brain's just been circle around all this shit, and like I've been having these conversations with like family and friends, and it's just like me trying to figure out like what to do, what to say, but also like how do I take care of myself, like also there's like less than a minute left.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Well,
you guys want to
I have nothing going on.
yeah, you guys want to do another one?
Let's do one more. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I was
Save
telling
when you
Franklin
stop.
that I'm gonna have to leave. I ended up just getting confirmation that I have a lesson at 12:30.
AKA, he thinks his conversation's lame. I'm just kidding.
Sure, dude.
Pretty
Emotions,
much.
that's pussy shit.
That's pussy shit.
How about feeling shit, that pussy shit.
So, what kind of conversations are and what have
Just,
you been
just,
thinking as
dis-
far as like taking care of yourself, like you were saying?
just discussion over facts, like why I believe that like there is systematic oppression, like, and like why I think there should be some police, and just stuff like
Why?
that.
Say that again. The last part you faded out.
Oh, like about defunding the police, and like just those kind of conversations, like that I like like what we could do, like just it, it's been pretty rough. It's like a few people I'm continually having conversations with, and I'm trying to make it like respectful, because I don't want anybody to feel like wow, this guy's an asshole. I think it
Mhm.
should be, like a conversation, not a fight.
Well, dude, I feel like I wouldn't really think of anyone as an asshole, even if they had contrasting opinions to mine. Someone can have a completely 360-degree different opinion than mine, but I still wouldn't call you an asshole. You know, it all depends. It all depends on the way you say it, dude. This is the thing, and this is what I teach my students. Okay, there are such things as stupid opinions. Anyone that tells you there's no stupid opinions, there's no stupid questions, there are, and there are plenty. Okay, what makes a good opinion good, and what makes a bad opinion bad, it's if you know how to support your opinion, dude. Like if you tell me something like there's there's more there's more like pop on Hispanic crimes. That's your opinion, and you like, but how can you back it up? Like there is systematic there is, if you believe that there is systematic racism, that's your opinion, and it's totally valid. Is it a good one? Tell me why. Show me your basis for your argument, and then that makes it valid. even if it's completely different than mine, if you have basis as to why to believe in that, then that's completely that's acceptable, dude. I feel like when people say like, "Oh, I just believe it just because," or just because it's the right thing to do, why? Tell me why. And there you go. That's a valid opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
So don't worry. The thing that I would tell you, dude, and I don't know, maybe that's because I am that kind of person, dude. Don't hold back on whatever feelings you have, dude. Even if they're a little bit, even if they go against the ideology a little bit, it's still a conversation, dude. Like you say it, we want to have a conversation, but I don't think we're having a conversation. I think we're just saying our thoughts.
Yeah.
But no, but there is no conversation, dude. You know, I feel like
It depends on who you're talking about though. Like,
that's
are
the
you talking about
thing.
the majority of people? Or are you talking about like with specific people with you in general?
No, I feel like the majority of people, dude. If I
I,
go and I
I,
ask a serious question, not attacking anyone, not attacking anyone. It's just a legit question to start a conversation with many people, dude. Like pretty much every single one of my friends in Texas. If I that's the reason why I can't really have a conversation about this with my friends because I know the moment I start questioning or I start like analyzing or we start having a conversation, dude, they are the ones who are going to get pissed first. And they are the ones who are going to give me the answers like, well, if you don't know what's wrong with the world right now, I'm not even going to take the time to explain to you. Blah, 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 blah. That's just dismissing, dude. And you have no idea how many times I fucking bumped into that wall when I try to have a conversation, dude. And you guys know that I'm not insulting, you know, I don't
Yeah.
insult people. I'm not rude. I'm giving you just my opinion. Simple. And
Yeah, yeah.
it's usually the other person that I'm having the conversation to that you can tell that they are slowly getting frustrated and pissed and just you can see it building up inside of them, dude. And I'm just here like, dude, like I'm trying to have a conversation. I'm not attacking you. I'm not trying to have a fight or a screaming fight, and I'm not trying to like diminish you or anything. It's a conversation. You know, you listen to me, I listen to you. Period.
yeah, I think that it sounds like for a lot of people, that's what a lot of people are dealing with right now. And but I don't know if it would be the majority of people. I think maybe that might just be the experience that you're having with a lot of people because I kind of see it as a split between there are a lot of good conversations being had, and there
Mhm.
are people who are super informative. That's why like I see a lot of people posting things like Billy right now is posting a lot of stuff, and a lot of my friends are posting a bunch of stuff, and I go through it and I read it, and there's a lot of information on it. So it's not to me. It's for a lot of it isn't even a question of if I want to have some sort of conversation about it. It's just if I really want to get if I want to know anything. There's a ton of information out there, So people, there's that big argument right now whether there is or isn't systematic racism. I mean, there's a ton of facts out there that you can go look. It's not a question, like you said, there are opinions and then there's facts.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people are mislabeling opinion for facts. But I also do agree that there are people who are more bent on the anger, and the like you said, I can't believe you're not already aware of this or that. It's like I I just think that there's a lot of room for conversation, but I see that there's definitely a lot of anger, and that's kind of why I've been trying to stay away from a lot of interaction on the Instagram stuff. I'm watching stuff, but I'm kind of like staying away from like interacting with certain things because I feel like a lot of it is driven through anger, and I'm not really. I understand it, but for me, I'm not gonna move from that place. I'm not gonna move from a place of anger. I want to move from a place of like understanding, and so just reading a lot right now is what I've been doing mainly,
Mhm.
you know.
I feel like that's the best thing that you can do.
But I don't think like the majority of people are not
I don't know, G.
willing to talk about stuff. I think that there's just a lot of people who are angry right now and are posting stuff and maybe wanting to like bring up things that are happening, but maybe they're just not entirely sure how to articulate their thoughts too. That's the other half of it too. Is that in general, there are certain people who are better at articulating their thoughts than other people, and when they don't feel like they can, some people go into a defense mode, like, and that's why I think it's important to just keep an open mindset with people and just
I feel like because of
keep it
that,
cool, you know.
and I agree 100% with you, but I also feel like because of that reason, exactly, um, I feel like those people, the people that get like that, they are hurting the movement more than they're helping it. You know,
Yeah, that's
no,
something.
there's not. I don't feel like there is a 100% unity even within the same movement.
Oh, that I agree with.
You
That's
know,
why that's a lot
that's
of the
why that's
reason.
why I can't. That's that and a couple of other reasons. That's why I cannot jump into the BLM movement like that, because these are conflicting ideas that I have with the movement and what my opinion is about American society. Gene, I have a very jaded opinion about this country, G, because I do come from a country where you see poverty and you really do see fucked up, and I mean fucked up capital letters, systematic racism with the indigenous people in Mexico. That is beyond fucked up. That's literally them segregated into the middle of the fucking rainforest, no education, no drinking water, no nothing, G.
Yeah.
They really are being discriminated. And the thing is that over there, G, nobody does anything. Like over there, it is part of the culture. It is a 100% part of the culture. It's so engraved into the culture, G, that you don't even fuck. Like if you ever lived in Mexico, G, it's something that you would hear all the time, but you wouldn't even notice that people are saying fucked up racist comments, dude. It's part of the fucking language.
That doesn't
You
make
wouldn't
it
even
right
notice,
though.
dude.
That doesn't make it right though, Nigel.
Oh no, it doesn't make it right at all, at all. But that's the thing, G. Like I do come, I feel like because of that, G. Like I have a little bit of a different perspective.
And what's
That
that?
is that is. I feel like that is an extreme case of systematic racism, and I don't feel like that's what we have in the United States. I do think there is racism in the United States, and I do think it's a problem. I feel like police brutality as a whole is more of a problem. They're both problems, and they both need to get fixed.
All right.
But because of that, because of my own experience, because what I've seen, where I've lived, and things like that, that's why I feel like that's why I have a mixed opinion about things, contradicting.
Okay.
But what does that have to do with the Black Lives Matter though? Like the fact that one group is speaking louder than any other group? What does
Wait,
that
wait,
have?
what? I couldn't hear you. What?
Like, what does that have to do with Black Lives Matter movement? The fact that one group is speaking louder than any other group? Is that what?
No,
Like
G.
what?
The Do you guys want to get into this?
Well, we're already into it now. I mean,
Okay. All right. um, what? Explain to me your definition of systematic racism and how it has survived and has gotten stronger to this point.
I would probably say redlining is an example of like
Mhm.
some of it that is as still existed. Gentrification is one of those things too,
Mhm.
where like communities that are not very well funded
Mhm.
are more policed, and they are purposely don't have funding in some of those areas. I'm I think I will say it's gotten better, but it
Mhm.
hasn't gotten better because of a system, but because of the people. And that's probably what I would say.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, G. Like if it's gotten better, it's because of the society, G. The I agree. Gentrification and there's a lot of um, displacement laws or things like gentrification that do happen to people. Do I think it's messed up? Of course, I do think it's messed up. Um, but there is no. It's kind of like the way I see it, Jude. It's kind of like how people say that in the United States we have a rape culture. Have you guys ever heard that?
Yeah.
mhm.
What do you guys think about that? And I promise you, I'm not changing the topic. This has to do um with the topic that we're talking about. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys believe that we have a rape culture in the United States?
I'm not gonna lie, I have not done enough research to like agree or disagree with that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
But I mean, you've seen like the Me Too movement, like
Yeah.
all these allegations.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That
yeah, yeah, yeah,
have
yeah,
been
yeah, yeah.
happening, you know?
I mean, I would, like I said, I work in Hollywood and I haven't seen too many crazy things, but I've heard some pretty fucking crazy stories. So
Oh
like,
yeah,
yeah,
dude,
I
rape
definitely think it's a problem.
rape is a thing, and it's a
Yeah.
problem globally. It
I was
happens.
gonna say globally. I wouldn't just say in America. I mean, I would say
It's
globally.
not. I don't feel
That's a
like. I don't
big
feel
issue.
like. I don't feel like it's. You can call it a culture,
Yeah.
a rape culture, just because it's not engraved into our culture. We don't talk about rape in a normal way. Like, oh yeah, I got raped. Oh really? Me too, kind of thing. In places, there's a lot of countries, dude, where fucking girls get raped all the time, and literally nobody gives a fuck. There are no laws that protect victims of sexual assault or rape or anything, dude. That is what rape culture is. That's what the culture part of the word means. It's engraved into your culture. It's so engraved that you don't even fucking notice it. Over here, dude, if you say a slur, if you do something that it's prejudiced, you will be punished, dude. You will be punished. You know, that thing that not every like the thing is the justice system is not perfect.
Well, I think that's what the problems would be arising from is that okay, yeah, it's saying that it's supposed to be a just system and we're supposed to have laws in place, and for the most part they are, but there's a lot of people who are excluded from those laws, and the question is why? Does it have to do with race? Does it have to do with money, status, and all that shit? Because a lot of people that get away with raping and doing shit like that, they are usually connected in some sort of way, or they just have like a free pass for whatever reason. You're trying to figure that out. So I mean, I think that's where that comes from. I mean, I think it is a problem.
It is a problem, dude, but
Like that Bryce guy. What's that Bryce dude? Whoever the hell Bryce. Fuck, I forgot. He like raped that girl, and then like they didn't even. I don't know. Like they didn't do shit really. I mean, they gave him like a slap on the wrist or some shit like that.
that's fucked up, dude. And yes, there are injustices. We live in an unjust world, and I feel like one of the main problems, dude, is that we try to perfect it, and it cannot be perfected. Society
I
cannot be
don't, I
perfected.
don't, I don't think that that's a problem, dude. I think that a perfectionist is a good thing because you're right, where it's never going to be perfect, but people strive for perfection because it's one of those like you shoot for the stars and hopefully you land on a cloud. That's a lot better than if you would have just put in like half-ass effort because half-ass
I feel
effort
like
doesn't really.
I feel like rather than striving for perfection, I feel like we would be better off with stability. If we are
Well, that's
just a stable society, G,
what-
that doesn't mean stability doesn't mean perfection, G, right? It just means kind of like the way I see it is kind of like flattening the curve in a way, bringing it as low down as we can.
that's what everybody's
It's not
doing.
it's still, but even if we go down as much as we can, I don't feel like it's gonna be abysmal, you know?
I don't think crime will ever stop, but I do think that like we set things in order and we have a consciousness as a society that we decide like, yo, this I know this motherfucker just did this awful thing. I'm doing something about it versus before where it was like, damn, that fucking sucks. Like I hope they get help or something. Like I think those kind of things are changing. And like with rape culture, like uh I really don't know what the definition of rape culture is. Like I could take a guess and say that it's saying that we as a culture are have experienced a large amount of rapes,
It's
but
acceptance. It's like say like we are so comfortable with it because it happens so much to you that we don't even notice it.
yeah, I also feel like it in my mind is it also says that like like we accept it or we don't have as heavy as a punishment for these things and we don't have in some cases like we don't care we're like like shh, don't say anything
Hmm.
in the case of this Insel, I can't fucking pronounce his name, but Insel and Insort this baby driver kid,
Hmm.
where it's a case like statutory rape where it's like it's she says in it, and I've heard it a million times, like I didn't want to say anything, and then same thing with what's like a Chris D'Elia, the
Hmm.
comedian. he's going through some shit too, like where where like people are accusing him, and some people are like, why now? And it's like, well, I don't know. Me personally, I'm like, well, I've never been raped, so I don't know what goes into that. I know there's a sense of humiliation that goes into it, and
Well,
there's
yeah, dude. Like, obviously, like, I feel like it's not. Obviously, it's not like an enjoyable thing. Even if it's just sex, dude, it's not. It's not an enjoyable thing. Even if it's not forcibly. If you just didn't want to do it because you were drunk or whatever, dude, like, you're still not gonna enjoy it, dude. But, um, no, dude, like, go ahead, finish what you were saying.
Unless you're into it. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Some
Dude,
people like that.
I remember I saw this movie once. I don't even fucking remember the name of the movie. But the opening scene was like this guy that was dressed in like black with a black hoodie breaking into an apartment. And the girl that was living there alone wakes up, dude, and they just have like this huge fight. Like the guy's straight up trying to like rape her. And they're having like, they're throwing shit, they're throwing plates and everything. They're like straight up like punching each other. And like suddenly everything stops. And like apparently they were a couple that were
Yeah, they were like role playing.
but I was just like, holy
That's
shit,
love
like this
right
is
there.
the opening scene of the movie. Wow.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember.
Yeah, dude.
Ultimate
know
role
what
playing.
to say. Yeah. But
She said the safety word.
I
was
guess
like,
I mean if it's a kinky thing for you, then
That's different. Well, I don't know, man. You see, I had this one girl who I dated this chick a long time ago. Actually, I don't even think we made it to day one. We were like in talking, and then she just was like straight up telling me, I don't even know how we got into the conversation of sex so fast, but she was like telling me straight up, and she told me, she was like, are you into like kinky shit? And I was like, define kinky, because like that's different for everybody, you know? And she was like, well, I like like dominant stuff. And I'm like you like being dominated? She's like, yeah. And I was like, that's cool, like I can get into that. She was just like, then she was like, what'd she say? She's like, do you like slapping? And I'm like, yeah, like I like slapping ass. Like, yeah, sure. She's like, how about pulling hair? And I'm like, yeah, that's great. And then she's just like, would you she's like, I'm gonna ask you something and like don't freak out, all right? I'm like, all right. She's like, what about like, would you ever punch a girl? And I'm like, probably not, dude. Like that's probably where my cutoff would be. And she was just like, what if it was like, if I asked you to, like, would you be down? And I'm like, I don't know. She's like, yeah. She's like, I'm into this really like
Do it.
crazy thing.
Do it, dude.
She's like, I like to play. I like to pretend like I'm being raped. And she's like, and I like to scream. And I'm just like, nah. I'm like, I'm not down for that, dude. And I just told her, I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, but like, it's not gonna work out because I'm not into that. Like, I was just thinking, dude, what if we were at my house doing that and like my neighbors hear her and they call the cops thinking like,
you actually
you know?
raping her?
And then, like, what if she gets pissed off at me one day because we're like fighting about something? And she's like, "Yeah, actually, he did. My neighbors, they've been here." Like,
You could even. I feel like she could even say that you weren't raping her, that you guys were role playing, but I feel like you would still be branded as a fucking
Right.
one, you know?
right.
And I feel
was
like she
nah,
would be seen as someone who's like hiding something because she's afraid of you, you know?
to me, that girl spelled like major daddy issues. I was like, that girl needs some counseling because to be into that as like enjoyable, I think you need to be a little fucked. And she told me like, yeah, I've been through some shit. She told me she was raped and like all this other shit. I'm like, that's horrible.
You know, there is a
Felt really bad for her actually.
there is a term for people who get turned on sexually by violence. And that's
Yeah, it's masochism, isn't it?
gonophilia.
What is it?
A gonophiliac.
It sounds like gonorrhea.
And a gonophiliac, dude, is someone who straight up gets turned on sexually by being beat up.
Yeah, I'm not into that shit, man. I mean, like I said, I have a cutoff, dude. What?
Have you ever seen women's wrestling?
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking hot?
Nah,
You don't
man, I've never.
like mud wrestling.
I'm not into like big like manly women, dude. I've never been into girls like that. Like
The fucking
I don't.
WWE
Just doesn't turn me
divas are
on.
supermodels, dude.
I don't have that problem. I'm sorry. I think they're
I
I'm
do
not into it. I
do
want to.
get turned on.
bigger the
when-
better.
Really?
I do get
What
turned
is she
on
like?
when
What, you
fighting.
want her to manhandle you in the bed or what?
Well, no, this is the thing, dude. No. Well,
Hey, it's all good, man. Whatever
No,
you're
dude,
into,
like,
bro. I'm not
honestly,
even gonna judge.
no, dude. Like I feel like a struggle like that between the two of us, dude. That's hot.
I mean, I like when. Don't get me wrong. I like when girls
Come
like
on,
change
like,
the thing around, but I like a woman to be a woman. Like, I
wouldn't
don't
you?
know.
Wouldn't you? Well, so you like more like um submissive.
When it comes to like sex and stuff, yeah, I think so. I don't like I said,
I've
I
never
don't. I
tried
think it's
it.
hot when a girl changes it around, but like,
I've never been with a girl like this, dude. But I feel like if I come home one day and my girl is in the bedroom and she's naked and she's like, "Let's go a few rounds, bro." I was like, "Okay."
bro.
No, dude,
If
let's
she
go.
said bro, I'd be like,
Boom.
Come on,
Fucking
brother.
grab her, dude. Suplex her. Fucking leg drop, elbow drop, dude. Get a chair,
Come into
dude.
this fucking
Boom.
elbows you like we're going now.
Yeah,
you
dude.
know
No,
what?
no, no. She's just like, let's just fucking like wrestle, you know? I'll be like,
That
hi.
that'd be cool. Wrestling like playfully, I could get into that, but like not into like women who want to
Yeah, no,
like
like
fucking
not
manhandle
straight up.
me.
Like I would never fucking.
I just she like picks you up by your ass and like puts you on the wall, and I'm like,
You guys know Billy? You know Fernando, right?
Yeah, I know
Do you know
Fernando.
Fernando? Frank?
No.
From Gatsby's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that guy. He was talking to me and Ivan one day, and he said that one of his biggest sexual fantasies, dude, is just to be carried around by a big woman.
Dude, why do I feel like I remember hearing this? I feel like I was there when he said this or something, or he said it before.
Yeah, dude, he was just like, my sexual fantasy, dude, is just being carried around by a big ass woman, dude, and getting like bear hugged by a big ass woman.
Right on.
And I'm like, okay.
I guess there's a place for that for everybody. Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, I'm pretty
Well,
sure that's not like the weirdest shit that someone is into.
probably not. I wouldn't doubt it.
I would much rather do that than being to like eating shit or golden showers and stuff.
I don't, man. There's
You
some
see, dude,
weird
like that's
shit out there,
disgusting,
dude.
dude. Like anything else,
but you eat the booty, right?
huh?
You eat
Oh
the
yeah.
booty, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, as long as she takes a shower and she's, like, yeah, that's great.
I don't even
Yeah.
care.
That's not even like taboo anymore.
Yeah.
Put a little tahini on it, dude. Just
Little tiny.
hey, yo, I'm gonna have to go like right now.
For sure.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
got
man.
my lesson. I wish I could stay and talk about this great discussion about Black Lives
Booty
Matter.
holes and all that. No, that's all good, man. Thanks for
Okay, if you
stopping
want to
by.
stop by later, dude, we're having a bonfire. Oh no, you're going to your.
Yeah, I'm gonna be chilling with my sis tonight. But I will eventually be at a bonfire, man.
All right.
No.
Let me know
No
if
worries,
Ivan's
bro.
alive too.
Yeah, no, he never got back. We'll have to see what's up with that guy.
All right, love you guys. I gotta go.
So, all right, Billy. Peace out. Might as well stay on.
All right, dude. I'll stay on.
Later, y'all.
Later, dude. Peace. Dude, so today I started something. It's like I'm like starting a mental fast. It's like I feel like I've been letting a lot of shit just kind of like cloud my psyche, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah, but mainly it's music. I realized that I have like one of my biggest vices. It's so crazy, dude. Like, is music, and it's dark, like negative music. So like, I've noticed lately I've been listening to a lot of like Slipknot, a lot of Atmosphere, which is like kind of emo hip hop,
Mhm.
Lamb of God, and just like really dark shit. And I've always like kind of liked that shit. I've always been into that, but I think from like middle school all the way out to like college, and then once I hit college, I got into like some really bad like depressive states because of just some shit that was going on in my life at the time. Like my first like major breakup, and like it was really bad. It was a really bad breakup, and so I fell into like a really deep depression, and then I just was like, all right, I'm never gonna allow myself to get this low. And it's like I kind of did like a mental check on like, all right, what am I actually feeding myself? And like that was one thing I cut off was all that music. So I just stopped listening to all that shit for years, dude. And then I would say about like 4 or 5 years ago, I just started listening to like the heavy metal shit again because it was like, you know what? I fucking love that music, dude. Like for me, it was more about the actual music itself. Like I like the technical drumming, I like the loud guitars and all that. But the lyrics was like, you know what? I can look past that. I felt like I was a little bit older, and I'm like, I can look past that and just see it for what it is, just the music. But lately I've been going back to it and just like listening to it, and then I'm noticing like my moods lately have just been not good, dude. Just like dark and like just bad thoughts and just really negative emotions. And I'm like, you know what? As much as I love that music, I kind of am wondering. I'm like, at a certain point, do I just let this music go in general? You know, because it doesn't. There's some music that I don't. It doesn't serve me anymore, dude. Like I don't. And I think I'm kind of going to it as a crutch. You know, I feel like I am. Like I feel like when, almost like an alcoholic, when something bad happens, what does an alcoholic do? They go and crack a and fucking drink, because
Mm-hmm.
that's all they know how to do to like
No, I agree,
to.
dude.
And I feel like that's what I'm doing with music when it comes to that. And I'm like, maybe I should just let this shit go. So I'm gonna try it for like 30 days, just and not only just music, dude, but even like videos and shit that I'm watching on TV, like violent shit and all that. Just give my brain a break.
No, I get it, dude. Maybe it is affecting you. Maybe I do believe that these things, when you are exposed to them, they do affect you at an unconscious level. And they do mess up with your psyche, and they mess up with your just your lifestyle in general, dude. Um, I used to work at a haunted house. It was like a year-round haunted house, the kinds that you dress up and you just scare people. And I'm pretty sure everyone, dude, has thought at some point in their life, dude, that's such a cool fucking job. Just getting dressed up and scaring people. And it was cool. Like it was cool for a while, dude. Like, I lasted there for like a week, and I had to quit. I had to quit because for that week, dude, I feel like being surrounded 8 hours a day, like darkness and like demon laughter and like just like fuck like scary sound effects. But being surrounded by them 8 hours a day every single day, Gene, it fucks with your brain, Gene. Like I would go to my house and I would try to fall asleep, Gene, and I'm fucking like falling asleep, Gene, and I get woken up because I hear a scream or I hear like a demon laugh, you know?
Fuck.
And like I wasn't like I was just not I was just not I was not having a good time, Gene. Everyone that I worked with, they were all like metalheads. Like I didn't really belong there. Like I thought it was gonna be like different. I thought it was gonna be like fun and like laughing at people backstage and shit like that. Gee, like these are all like fucking like misfits.
Yeah.
Like they're like 40-year-olds that they never grew out of that stage of being a metalhead in high school. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Those were my coworkers, Gene, and I try to make friends and shit, and they were just very like negative, Gene. I feel like they already have that because of listening to I don't know, dude, like being in that violent environment, dude.
Yeah.
Music and everything,
Constantly.
everything, dude. It's not just the music, but it's
The
everything.
films that we watch, the shit
Mhm.
that we look at on Instagram, yeah, all that shit. And I've just been like lately, it's been like really overwhelming. So I'm just kind of like,
But have
I
you
need to
tried?
turn the volume down on my brain. So I just cut all that shit out.
Have you tried? I mean, you know the lyrics of the songs that you're listening to, right?
Yeah.
Is there a way that you can like analyze them in a different way? Like, okay, maybe they're not talking straight up about this. Maybe it means something else.
Some of them, yeah, but like some of them, no. Like slip, like there's slip. You know what? What really got me the other day is I was really paying attention to the lyrics of one song that I've liked for a really long time because of the drums. But I really dug into the lyrics and I was like, this is a really bad song. Like he's literally talking about killing everybody, like going around and just killing people, and I'm like,
Yeah,
it's pretty bad, dude.
yeah, I'm
Like,
pretty sure there's a lot
but
of.
the drums are just so fucking amazing on this song, dude. Like, it's crazy. But I was like, yeah, there's really no way there's no.
I believe it, dude. They're just songs that are fucked up from the beginning, and there's no way around it.
Yeah, but you know what? The other thing is like I get it, like because you got to look at this too is like Slipknot. Think about Slipknot for in general. They're an amazing band. Like those guys have sold a lot of fucking albums, and I'm talking before Spotify and streaming. They actually sold hard copy albums a lot. I don't know if they ever went platinum. I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Mhm.
But their music is all dark. Their vibe is all dark. Their image is all super dark. And
Mhm.
if you look at their concerts, there's thousands and thousands of people who go to these concerts. And
Mhm.
so at some point you gotta like think, and I'm pretty sure they've said this in their interviews a lot too. a lot of their music is a way, is an outlet to get a lot of that anger out and to get a voice for like people who have a lot of anger inside of them and don't have an outlet to put it out. That's kind of one way that they were able to get their aggression out growing up in Iowa where everything was like super controlled. That was their way of like letting their aggression out. And I remember being in high school too when playing in bands with your cousin, and that was like one reason I really loved to play a lot of heavy metal is because it just allowed me to get a lot of like
Mhm.
frustration out. So I think at that time it was good, you know, like it served me in that way, in my own childish way at that time, you know what I mean? But I feel like at some point it's like, okay, you get over that anger, you get over that frustration, and you got to move forward with your life. But I guess for me, like a lot of that stuff has kind of stuck around for a while, you know. So I still have leftover anger and resentment in my life, you know, for other shit. But that's all stuff that I've been dealing with as I get older and older. And I think as I get older, I realize like, yeah, I don't think I really need that other shit anymore. Like I feel like I'm
Mhm.
going to that as a crutch now, and it's like, no, you don't need to do that anymore.
I
You know what I
feel like,
mean?
yeah, I totally understand what you're saying, Jade. I feel like music in general, G, like it helps you balance your emotions. There is a song for every single imaginable human emotion, you know? And I feel like music has an effect on you depending on what your state of mind is at the time. I feel like even if it's negative music, even if it's aggressive music, I feel like it still serves a purpose. Um, have you ever just been so fucking pissed, so fucking frustrated that you just go into your room, close the door, and just put on Pantera and just fucking like scream and just like have you ever has that ever happened? Have you ever done that?
Probably not the screaming part, but yeah, like putting on that music and just locking myself in the room and
Yeah,
yeah,
dude, and
putting my
just like
headphones
fucking
on. I
like
used to do
let
that all the
all of
time.
that fucking shit out some way, some way. Some people work out while they listen to heavy metal.
Yeah, that's another reason I listen to it.
That's I feel like that's the purpose of it, G. Like it's good music. You can totally sit down and just
Yeah,
listen to it. But I feel like if you give the music a purpose, I feel like that's a good way for you to still like listen to that song or to that music. If you listen
yeah.
to it, like next time that you're gonna do like a heavy workout, like something that you know you're gonna be fucking like exhausted by the end, put on some fucking heavy metal and tell me if you don't fucking
I
feel
do. I do. They're in my gym workout list, like
there you
Lamb
go,
of God
dude.
and Slipknot and all those guys.
That could
But
be just a
I
workout track.
yeah, no, and I love that, and I'm gonna keep doing that, you know, into the future. But I think I'm gonna be a little bit more selective of the songs I put in there,
That's
because there are some
amazing.
songs that are worse than the other, and then also like you said, it's giving it that purpose and not going to it when I'm feeling down or like upset. But then I'm like, well, am I just enabling myself to go do that more because it makes it easier? You know,
That's
I
the
don't
thing,
know.
dude. What
I'm
happens
a
if
little
you are
torn.
sad? What happens if you are depressed and you listen to a really sad song?
Well, me, I'm hypersensitive to that kind of shit because I love music so much, and I just like I don't know. I guess
It's
I'm a
just
little
gonna
bit
get
more
you
of
more
an
sad, right?
emotional side. Yeah,
Well, is that a
so
bad thing?
it could be. Depends.
Have you stopped listening to sad music?
I have like I said, I cut it out when I was younger for a long time, and then recently I dove back into it.
But I don't mean like sad, like negative. I mean like sad, just emotional. Like,
Tragic.
yeah, just romantic or just sad, G. Like a song about your dog dying, or I don't know, G. Like stupid, like something like
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, the atmospheres are all like they're considered emo indie hip hop, so it's like, yeah,
I,
I listen to that shit.
I feel like that's probably why people don't like if they are sad, they don't want to watch like sad movies, you know? Because that's just gonna
Right.
make you more sad. G. It's
More
not the time.
sad. I
It's
know.
not the time. It's not the time, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
What you cooking? Grandma's breakfast. Mijo.